Hello motivators, Timothy McCain here, and today I want to make a different type of video. I just want to share my heart with you regarding dyslexia. I have dyslexia, you know what I mean, and it has been something that I had to learn how to overcome all my life. But yet, while I was in elementary school, middle school, and even high school, it wasn't something that I was brought into a meeting and learning how to overcome and learning how to cope with or learning how to figure it all out. I was put in the same class as everyone else and taught and commanded to learn. And so there's some things I learned along the way that worked for me. And so I actually made a video about it a couple of weeks ago. I'll put that link in the description for you. But I just want to talk about dyslexia in general. And so I used to be extremely insecure regarding this dyslexia. So let me tell you, I read, I write, I do everything else like everyone else. However, there's some extra steps I had to do for myself to make sure I am articulating and communicating things effectively. And so the little misconception or unknown truth about dyslexia is that it not only can affect the flip-flopped or the inversions of words and numbers and letters, but also it affects your speech. So I believe it's a predicate and the subject. You know, sometimes I'll be speaking and you find other people like this that our sentence structure will be flip-flopped, right? Or I'll find myself putting in a Facebook post. I'll put please and before the beginning of a sentence, I put at the end of a sentence, or anything, or something like that nature. So dyslexia could affect your speech. It could affect your grammar. It's all things of that nature. A stutter or slur, things of nature. And so the complication that I had growing up, and which was the tug of war I made for myself, especially because I do firmly feel that what I had doing today, I'm called to. I'm the honor to speaking, to share, and from schools and public schools to churches, to conferences, and so my livelihood, my calling, and my purpose is communication, is speaking. So when I first felt called to this, I thought I was crazy, and I thought God made a mistake because there were some characteristics that I struggled with. All right, and so maybe you fit into me. You feel like this is your Cinderella story, and this slipper fits on your feet as well. And so I know what it's like to try to write a sentence out, and you write it out and you set it aside. You read it later and it makes no sense. I know what it's like to start writing, and to start writing and you're trying to spell a word, and not that you don't know how to spell the word, but you write the word misspelled, and or that I know what it's like to write a sentence and you misspell the word so bad that spell check doesn't even know what you're saying, so you gotta go back and reformulate your sentence in and of itself. So I understand maybe some of you watching this like, man, I got you. And so here's a couple of things about dyslexia that maybe you don't know. Dyslexia, again, it's not I hate labeling, because I believe sometimes when people label themselves like, oh, that is me, and so they succumb into that label rather than overcome that label. So I'm not making this video to say if you got dyslexia, well, the expectations upon you should be less. Absolutely not. No, you still are called to do, you're still required to do, and you still should do whatever you put your heart and mind to do. All right, so here's some things about dyslexia that people may not know. All right, and oftentimes people with dyslexia are bright, highly intelligent, articulate, but sometimes you may have difficulty in reading and writing and spelling at that particular grade level. They could be this is very generic. It's off of dyslexia.com, right? Labeled as lazy, dumb, careless, immature, saying I'm not trying enough, isn't behind enough or bad enough, to be considered to be labeled or required help in school settings. So right, it says you just coast in between, right? And so but here's the thing, and I can attest to this: feels dumb, has poor self-esteem, hides and cover-ups weaknesses, right? With ingenious strategies, easily frustrated about school reading or testing. And so I know that I remember just here's the thing: typically you're very good at oral testing versus written testing, right? So I understand that, and so I understand the frustration, man. The real talk and what that is, the frustration and being insecure about it, especially knowing that here I am, I'm in front of people, I'm speaking in front of people, knowing good and well that 90% of the people in the crowd are probably butchering every single word, every single sentence I say, right? Oh man, he didn't say that right, or that's the incorrect tense, or I'll post something. Oh man, you shouldn't do that, or that's wrong, or whatever. Grammar police, or whatever. So, well, oftentimes they view it from their perspective, what they said is right and wrong. And so again, because dyslexia doesn't look like something, they're like, oh well, he should know it. And so again, I'm not saying that you should not have standards to learn or to try better or to get it right. What I am saying is that it could be frustrating. And so anyway, so I remember when God commissioned Moses, he told Moses told God that I can't because I don't speak eloquently. Some people believe he had a stutter, he had a slur, he had some sort of issue where he wasn't confident in his speaking ability, and so, but yeah, look how God used him mightily. You know what I'm saying? So. And here's some other things. Complain about dizziness, headaches, stomach aches while reading, confused by letters, numbers, words, sequences, verbal explanations, reading or writing shows repetitions, additions, omissions, substitutions, reversals, of letters, numbers, or words. That is mad real talk. Complains of feeling, let me see. Okay, anyway, hearing and speech. Difficulty putting in the word, speaks in halted phrases, leaves sentences incomplete, stutters under stress, mispronounces long words, transposes phrases, words, syllables when speaking, right? So, and here's another thing. Writing, trouble with writing or copying, pencil grip is unusual, handwriting varies, is you can't read it. Illegible, clumsy, uncoordinated, you know what I mean? Can be ambidextrous, but often confused left and right, under or over. Listen, these are some real talk things. So, anyways, dyslexia it's many people may have it, but I'm just making this video just to share my heart. This is just to share my heart with you, that maybe you're watching and you have dyslexia. I want you to know that that you are called and you should still be an overcomer. You do not have to allow that to be your permission slip till you can sit back and say, well, I don't have to try, I can't do this. And so there's so many things in my life I felt like I have allowed it to be my permission slip to not to do anything. Remember from the very, very first video on this channel, I talked about the difference between difficulty and impossibility. And for the longest of my life, I have viewed things as difficult as impossible. But the reality of it is that just because something is difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. All it takes is more effort. And so maybe for the rest of my life, I'm gonna have to make even more effort to do what other people are doing without effort at all. But you know what? I'm okay with that, because I refuse to fail and not try, or to fear and to fear. But I am purposely and intentionally trying to change this thing. I want my son to one day I can talk to my son, and whatever his struggles may be, I pray it's not dyslexia. I pray he has nothing to do with. But whatever he may come to life, because he's gonna have a trouble, he's gonna have a hurdle in life, whatever it may be, I want to look at him and say, hey son, listen, just because you're going through this, Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. You can do this. We keep quoting scriptures like in the book of Philippians, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. But what does Jesus really mean? Does it mean all? I believe it really does mean very much all. And so there's many other people who have dyslexia that was very, very successful in life. I'm going to read to you some celebrity names you may have known who has dyslexia. Orlando Bloom, an actor. He's from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Leonardo da Vinci, the famous painter, one who painted Mona Lisa. He was Tom Cruise, Walt Disney, Jim Carrey, Albert Einstein. Let that sink in, because maybe some of you watching, you had dyslexia. You said, "Well, I'm stupid. I'm dumb." You have owned that label. I can't do this because it's hard for me. You have owned the label. I'm done. Albert Einstein, the genius. He had dyslexia, but he made up in his mind somewhere along the way that just because it's difficult for me doesn't mean I'm not going to be what I desire to be, aspiring to be. Listen, we have no excuses. Albert Einstein, the one just the genius. Anyways, Whoopi Goldberg. Here's some presidents who had dyslexia: John F. Kennedy, George Washington, and George W. Bush, U.S. presidents of the United States, and so many other people. Steven Spielberg, right? Many other celebrities and many other people you may know who have dyslexia, and they're still extremely successful. And so this video, again, it is just me sharing my heart with you, and just to simply remind you that, listen, if you have dyslexia, don't allow it to be your permission slip. Again, I keep using that word because it makes sense. Permission slip, that meaning you signed it off, so it's okay for you to feel this way, to be this way, to act this way, or to cope this way. But no, throw that permission slip away. Do what you need to do. You can get an education. Is it gonna be? May it be harder? Will it be harder? Possibly. But is it difficult? Of course not. Get an education. I'm in college right now, and I have avoided this. It's just crazy. But man, I am doing better in college than I were in high school, and the courses are more difficult. But I believe the reason why I am doing better is because because all through high school I knew that there's something wrong with me. I had to take speech classes, and I couldn't retain what I was reading. I had all these different things going on, but they never pointed fingers, said, okay, this is what is going on with me. And so now that I am walking to my college life and I understand, okay, this is what's going on with me, I know how to combat this situation, right? I know how to okay, there's some things I need to have in my life. I'm gonna get Grammarly. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna do voice recording and make sure my grammar is correct. Little tips and tricks. Again, the last video will be the other video about dyslexia with tips to overcome it will be the link in the description. But so I'm in college right now, and just wrapped up a semester, and I'm at a great college called Nyack College, and the crazy thing about it is that I'm not doing it in a classroom setting. I'm doing it in an online setting, which traditionally reading and on that online correspondence, stuff like that, should be extremely or difficult, or many people may say impossible for someone who have dyslexia. But the fact of the matter is, it is not. It just takes more effort, it takes more time, but you got to be willing to do that. If you're lazy, you are writing your own tombstone. Your tombstone is going to say shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's exactly what it's going to say. Or it's going to say if I only had, or if I did not have. That's what your tombstone is going to say. And you will die and perish with dreams and aspiration inside of you that you have allowed this difficulty to give your thumbs up to say it's okay not to try. That, my family, that is an excuse. And so I wrote a book as well. I'll put the link in the description, called Crowns Are Greater Than Trophies. I'm working on my second book now. And so this book is a testament, man, just punching the reality I had for myself in the face. I truly believe, family, that again, this is the first meeting, working on my second book now. And Crowns Greater Than Trophies, Confronting Pride, Uprooting Entitlement by Cultivating a Servant's Heart. This book God is using, man, to restore and heal so many families. I'll put the link in the description as well for you if you're interested in. Eddie James wrote the foreword, and it's pretty stoked about it. And so, but anyways, but it's another example that I had to make in my life, milestones and goals I make in my life that was not only beneficial because I want to change this world, but it was also something for me to say, okay, for 30 years of my life, I gave myself the thumbs up that said, you are this, you can never do this, just take what you can get and do what you can. You're stupid, you're dumb, you're this and you're that. And being insecure, knowing every time I speak, again, that there's grammar Nazis and oral grammar Nazis, whatever, in the sanctuaries or in the conferences or in the whatever, butchering my words. And so I had to tell myself, okay, it doesn't matter what they think about me when they hear me speak. Yes, I'm going to continue to work on my craft, but what does matter is that I effectively deliver the message. And when the altar call, people are being saved at the altar call, or people are being influenced in the crowd, or people in the school assembly are hearing that, hey, about these life choices and things of that nature, then I know that my mission was done. Okay, I should not stop my fight because I'm concerned about what everyone else thinks. No, there has to be a drive within you greater than the opinions of the people around you. So Crowns Are Greater Than Trophies. Again, this was a book, a milestone for me to say that I'm going to look to my son and say whatever he's going through, I can say, son, listen. If I not saying that if I can do it, you can do it too, but to say what you can do, whatever you put your mind, your heart to do. So anyway, this video is already 16 minutes long. If you have watched it to this long, go ahead, man, you are awesome. But anyways, this channel is to be an oasis of hope in a desert of hopelessness, and this has been my journey thus far. And so you know what? I got a long way to go, but I have allowed dyslexia. I've allowed the uncertainty, not be able to label it, not knowing what it is. I've allowed it to be my prison. I incarcerated myself with my own insecurities. And so, but man, I'm sitting in an office right now at an incredible church. And so I'm like, man, God, how did I get here? Because back in the day, I felt like there was no hope for me at all. And for anything. And so I thought that I was just gonna have to live beneath my own dreams because I was scared to dream. So I challenge you, those of you with dyslexia, do me a favor, share this video and let other people who may have it be encouraged to say, you know what, I refuse to fail than fear. So anyways, family, like, comment, and subscribe. Be a part of this movement, and I appreciate you taking this time to watch this 18-minute video. Let me get up out of here. All right. God bless y'all. Bye.